Hi, this is Praios and I'm a professional gambler, and today we will review another session played by Phil Galfond. And yeah, we did another one yesterday. It was very fun, and yeah, he is a great player as expected. And yeah, today we will review some more of his plays, try to learn a bit from him, and also from my analysis, which I will do first based on my own experience, and second also solver based. I will use two programs. First one is PLO Trainer, second one is PLO Vision. And yeah, if you want to support me, feel free to order one of these programs. These will definitely, if you don't use them yet, boost your poker game to the next level. And yeah, obviously, as always, I'm doing this for free. I don't want anything else in exchange other than you liking this video, subscribing, following, all that good stuff. And this is also a win-win because this will ensure that you will not miss any more content of mine, and yeah, you will be able to get a better poker player. So without further ado, let's now get into the video of Phil Galfond.
Hey guys, I guess I'm live. This will be my second stream, so still figuring things out. I'm gonna try to play these two tables at 10:20 and see if that's gonna work out. All right, there we go. Let's play some poker. Hi, is this Phil Galfond from HunterOnce.com? Yes, it is. How's it going? All right, a few hands going on. Here we 3-bet, flop poorly.
Yeah, I think a small continuation, but can't be that bad. Let's see what Mr. Galfond has to say. I mean, we also have a high heart in our hands, so we're blocking at least partially the possible flushes in our opponent's hand, and our opponent also raised from the button, so his range is quite weak.
Block bet seems like a good approach with the Queen of Hearts. Our hand needs a lot of protection. Meanwhile here, we're gonna c-bet bluff, and then down here, I think I'll just go ahead and check raise.
Okay, he has middle set and an open ender as well. He's not blocking any flush draws. Yeah, I think check raising definitely is a fine play.
The c-bet took it down on the other table. All right, so that's a good turn.
Well, thanks for that, chat. Seems like I got to update the title. I mean, I updated it, but I think I have to click done. And now the title should be fine, right? Please let me know, chat. I didn't try to get more bandages yet. Just watching Phil Galfond and yeah, reviewing his play. Thanks for letting me know. Always nice to have you in chat, by the way. Okay, let's continue with the stream.
For my hand, I mean, not amazing for my hand, but it's good for my range. So if I'm gonna keep betting.
Yeah, I think also that he should keep betting. Only 5-6 now got there, and it's quite unlikely that his opponent has it. I mean, he raised from the cutoff, so not that many 5-6s in his range. And yeah, it's very likely that he still has the best hand and he needs to protect it. So let's see what Phil thinks about that.
I'm not sure what the best sizing is here. I think maybe actually 2/3 pot.
Yeah, I think that his sizing is a bit too big, but yeah, whatever.
Could work pretty nicely. I have some hands on the other tables as well that we can look at in a moment. This one is the tricky one. I raise, he 3-bets, and
we are in a 3-bet pot. Yeah, this one is, I think it's not that tricky, right? Looks like, oh, okay. opponent's range should be aces heavy, so it's actually kind of tricky, but at least we got a 2 where we can hit as well against aces. His opponent also seems like he wants to commit. I think the best play is to call and wait for a safe turn.
He's potting this flop. I don't think I can fold. So,
wow, it seems that Phil is even thinking about folding. I think more about getting the money in now, to be honest.
And we're getting it in down here. The best hand.
Okay, his opponent got it in. Okay, he has also the nut flush draw, yeah. But why is he deciding to get it in on the turn? Yeah, quite strange play by Bluffmast. Yeah, I think he should not raise the turn.
Did not work. I don't think I can fold here. The question is, do I wait for a river or just jam it in? Or sorry, wait for a safe turn or jam it in now?
Ah, okay, now he is not on the folding train anymore. So he thinks about jamming it in now or wait for a turn. I mean, my suggestion is to wait for a safe turn, but yeah, jamming it in now can't be too bad either.
I think probably I wait. Could potentially fold on a 5 or on a spade if he continues to shove.
Oh, that's not a great card. Let's see what Bluffmast will do. I mean, now he also is beat by hands like Ace King, Blub Blub and stuff. So yeah, now it's a fold, unfortunately. His opponent continues firing.
And there's the 5. We want to pot up here, but it wasn't particularly interesting. Or I mean, it wasn't from my perspective. So the problem now is we're losing to, like the Ace King Jack type hands, even though we have some equity to improve. I think a lot of his potting range on the flop could be Ace Ace, but also like kings with spades or king high spades. But then also just like Ace King Jack 10 that doesn't want to deal with anything. And so we were, trying to fade like 11 cards on the turn, maybe 10. And one of them hits. And so I do think this is just a fold, unfortunately. Yes.
Yeah, great analysis by him. Basically what I said too. Yeah, yes, fold.
I'm still beating king high spades or whatever kind of spade hand that you might have. But I'm in such bad shape against Ace King. I'm drawing to, four deuces and 2 4s. Makes me like 12%. Or I guess actually the 1 ace that remains as well. It's a little bit close, given that he can have those draws. I just hate, how bad of shape we're in against Ace King XX. And obviously we're drawing dead against Ace Ace, which is possible. Yeah, I think I'm going to fold here.
Oh, it at first sounded like he convinced himself to still call. Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong, really, because his opponent could have some sort of draw, but yeah, I think he still probably does not have enough equity. He needs about 33%. I think he has less than that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the normal free betting range from your opponent should be aces. I mean, he's blocking one, but yeah, still, he could be completely dead already. And he's only in okay shape against the draws that don't have an ace. And against everything else, he's, screwed.
Against a flush draw, against double flush draw, we're flipping. Against a flush draw, we have we're significant favorites, but I think more often I just see ace X and I'm in bad shape. Could also have turned to 5 with like king 5-6 or whatever else. So that's why sometimes you kind of wait on the flop when you have a hand that's not like incredible. Tough spot here.
I think the king spot isn't that tough. He should fold.
a couple of tough spots. So here I am gonna
I would choose the same sizing with the aces and yeah, still probably get away. If both people shove in and against one, you probably have to go with it, although it doesn't feel too great.
I guess I'm just gonna fold. I really don't know much about his 3-bet range. This is it's definitely close. I don't think it makes a fantastic cold call, although that
I think Phil should play with a heart. I'm not sure why he's not using one. Maybe he's just not displaying it. But yeah, I would always play with a heart, and I think VSOP allows hearts. I mean, I could be mistaken, but I think so. And yeah, I would use one. Free information, or almost free. I mean, Full Manager is only like, what is it, $100 or something? Maybe 150. It's worth it. After one session, you got the money back, basically, something like that.
maybe is an option I should have considered a little bit longer, though I didn't have much time. Makes a decent 4-bet. Thanks, Startup Tim. Okay.
Not sure about the flop check. The queens will also have betted. That's sort of an interesting spot. Give me 1 second. Let's see if this is a continuation bet hand or not. Oh, deuce 7 king board. It definitely makes your hand way easier to play if you just continuation. But I mean, you might just be check folding when in this case he also makes the hand not that tough to play. Was the board again? King 7 deuce? Maybe. Let's hope that I remembered it correctly. King 7 3 we have to choose instead. And let's download this one. King 7 3 is close to the one we actually got. Queen 4 8. Oh, seems like this hand should check almost ever. Is it check folding? Seems like some want to check call. The ones with is somewhat strange. So 2 backdoor flush draws, check call, I guess. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it sounds like I have a lot to learn about drop frames. Let's see here. Defend the big blind. Good enough to call again.
This is very close. Probably not good enough, according to the solver, but I mean, it's also the hands plays so bad if his opponent is only remotely aggressive. So if I check, I would probably check fold.
Or is that not what happened? This went. I wasn't paying attention, guys. So I don't know how we got to this point, but we got here. We're showing down queens.
Yeah, showing down queens, expecting to lose. I mean, I would expect to lose most of the time. And if he wasn't losing yet, his opponent probably bluffs him off his hand. So yeah, if his opponent is competent, I expect him to lose almost always.
Really weird spot here. I raise and check back. I mean, I'm just going to call, but is this fake misclick or a misclick or an intentional tiny bet? I'm just going to show this down and get to.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable to just show it down, and his opponent was trapping or fake block betting or something. He had the low end of the straight.
Find out. It looks like we don't know. He had the second nuts, so I'm gonna call it a misclick, an unintentional misclick.
3 aces.
Raised 3 aces there, and this flop went check check. Sorry if you're hearing the water unit. Yeah, this flop went check check.
That's a very speculative hand. I think he probably should not defend this crap. But yeah, he got lucky.
And I think blocking no pairs, this is a good hand to start betting and getting value. Rather than check raising, whereas if I had... Well, I don't know. That can go both ways, because he's likely to bet a hand like 2 pair on the turn. And this ace's hand has gone horribly wrong. So check, check, flop. He bets 3rd pot on the turn. I call.
Yeah, sounds reasonable so far. So he check, check on the flop. Pot controlling. On the turn he bets. He calls a small bet. Yeah, river's the terrible card again. Yeah, he probably got to fold now. I mean, he could consider doing something with his ace of spade, but yeah, I mean, yeah, the opponent can have a full house too. So let's see what Phil thinks and Phil does.
I don't think I want to turn this hand into a bluff, and I don't know if I want to call. Very tempted.
Oh, getting such a good price. Does not need to bluff that often, but on the other hand, are people really bluffing from this size on the river?
To call actually against that sizing, just given 4-1. I need to be right 20% of the time. Meanwhile, down here, I'm going to see bet queens.
Betting a set always nice.
So I think this is a spot where people like bet small because they have a bunch of straights, but they wouldn't actually bet their straights. So I think his value range is flushes and boats. And he'd bet some of those larger. So I'm going to go ahead and call, obviously losing, more than...
Definitely very interesting to see what his opponent has. I put him on flush.
half the time, but getting really good
Bam!
pot odds. I think it's worth going for. We get check raised here, and
after getting check raised, I would just call, wait for a safe turn. Also strengthening my calling range. Yeah, also we don't want to get it in against kings yet. Against the draws, we are not doing extremely great, so yeah, good to wait for a safe turn and then get it in.
I think it's just a call. I could rip it in, but I would rather just call and see a safe turn like that. Obviously going with our hand now. I mean, it's not...
Yeah, we agree in a lot of spots.
Ridiculous to call again, but yeah. This is funny because I think it was him that in my last stream, I took this line with kings, check raise checked, and he had queens.
If he is really going for the half pot, I hate it. I would definitely bet bigger. I don't want to give all the draws a good price.
Up here, I 3-bet, and I'm going to c-bet pot. Okay, don't need to talk about that. This is a little bit clumsy. I didn't want to tank for too long. By clumsy, I mean like the sizing. This didn't have a lot of purpose, or at least great reasoning behind it. I think it's fine as a sizing, but I wanted to give some more thought to...
That's not the greatest river. Ah, yeah, let's see if he's been faced with a shove.
You know what my bluffs were? He checks to me on this river, which is nice. I think I probably have the best hand, but I think it's way too thin to value.
Yeah, I think the same. Value betting would be quite thin. It's hard to get called by verse. Yeah. He wins almost always, but he will also not get called. So yeah, checking is a way to go.
You bet. So I just show down. So, you know, his play is certainly fine. And he could consider bluffing that river. Doesn't have to. Venom. As a US player, I see global poker ads literally everywhere. Yeah, global poker is apparently operating legally through some... whatever. I mean,
They're not 3-bet.
Good for them. And, you know, them figuring out a way to operate legally and presumably in I think they're a more reputable company than ACR, but I don't know a lot about them, but...
Oh, sort of a tough flop. They're also deep. This is only 5-10 if I saw this correctly, but yeah, I think he has to bet the flop with the top two. Would get very ugly if he's raised.
Look, if they can figure out how to do it and let Americans play online poker in a place that's relatively safe, then good for them, and that makes me happy. I'm just gonna pot it here. Some nice things can happen, like I can make somebody with a live flush draw fold because it looks a lot like I have, you know, aces with a flush draw.
I mean, it's ugly when he gets raised, but yeah, he cannot fool anymore. But I also don't expect him to be ahead a lot.
Draw queen X with an ace high flush draw or king high flush draw. And of course, I mean, I can get it in good as well, although that's somewhat unlikely.
That's a good turn. Shoving it in.
Or sorry, it's not somewhat unlikely. The fact that I block queen 10, just it means they're folding a lot is what I'm getting at. Or they call with like a wrap and a flush draw or something, which, you know, I'm flipping against. Here he has the wrap, and he does get there. The
oh, he called the pot size bet on the flop. That is interesting. Should he do this without a flush draw? I mean, he's getting completely crushed if his opponent has a flush draw. Well, that's definitely a tough one. And also a very interesting one. I know that PLO trainer has some three-way sims, so let's hope that we have a three-way sim. This one, so this is, I think it's like raise. Or let's just make it these positions and hope that this is working out, and it's not. Is this working out? I think this is also not working out. Oh. Oh. Got some sims. Very, very nice one. Queen 10 something. Three-way sims. I love it. Queen 10. Oh my god. We don't have one that matches this very well. 10 8. Queen 10 7. I think we go with the Queen Jack deuce. Yeah, not that many iterations, but still better than nothing. So let's download this one and see what we are supposed to do. Also have to change our hand a bit to like ace, ace, and jack. Do we have a backdoor flush draw? Yes, we got a backdoor flush draw. So we got spade, spade. Oh, with this spade, spade. We block. That's the front door back draw. So diamond, diamond. This is a spade and this is a heart. So let's see what we should do. Full pot. Seems like Phil played it perfectly. I wonder how much full potting he should do here. Oh, quite a lot. 28%, checking 50%. Also using 50% sizing. So he's supposed to bet 50% overall, about 50%. So he seems to go with his hand quite a lot. But yeah, keep in mind, this is 100 BB sim, and on the table we are a lot deeper, like 150 BB or something. It depends on the player. Some are even deeper, but effectively with Phil, it's like 140 BB or something. Let's now see what we should do if we are in the spot of Rodney. If we should continue with Ace, King, Jack, 6. That's a very tough one. Probably, I say, folding can't be too bad. Although calling probably isn't either. Jack, Ace, 6. He should get it in with the flush draw, but without, he should lay it down. Oh, sorry. We have to change his hand a bit. My bad. So he has Ace, King, 10, 6. But it remains the same. With the flush draw, we are getting it in. Without, we are folding. Makes sense. And that's also... This is also my instinct, but yeah, it's definitely close. You probably don't lose too much. I mean, it's a lot closer if it's a heads-up pot, and yeah, but this is three-way, so you have to be tightening up a bit. So yeah, nice hand, very educational. Let's go, move on.
It would have been an interesting decision on the turn. Had a heart fallen. If I potentially not really bluff him off of a hand like that because he didn't make a hand yet, but prevent him from realizing his equity.
Yeah, that's in fold.
Rather. So now we are we're running out of bankroll, guys. I just noticed we didn't get the rebuy. Here we have a button limper, gonna isolate. And here we have a raise.
Would suck to get 3-bet with this hand. I'm also not entirely sure if this is supposed to open raise. I think it probably is, but it's closer than you probably assume. Oh, let's see how close it is, if I'm right or wrong about this. I mean, I would open, but yeah, it seems not too attractive. What is the last card? The last card is a 5. So let's just put in random suits, club, diamond. Yeah, we are not printing money or anything, but it's an open.
So the stream could end with me busting my bankroll on WSOP.com, which would be I mean, not a fun way, but at least not an anticlimactic way to end.
It's a hell of a flop. Not sure if checking or betting is a better play. I think slow playing isn't too bad. Phil does so too. Too bad that he also has a 5. But yeah, at least hearts got there, and he has no heart, so yeah, time to build a pot now, I say. I think we shouldn't get too greedy and just call.
So I think this is just clearly a call. I mean, at this point, I'm representing a flush. So it's going to be really hard. Like, I hope he bets, because if he checks, it's going to be tough for me to get much action. Because I just don't have many floats there. And down here, I 3-bet. I'm going to go for the check jam on a board that I think is not great for my range, and one that he might bet pretty frequently. And
good plan for the flop. And yeah, now check again, I guess, because he represented something weak, and he should continue representing a weak range now.
Now I'm going to go for bet.
Not sure if I like the bet strategy. I personally would continue to trap.
I'm going to pot. Actually, it's a little bit thin, but I think it's...
Yeah, pot is over the top. I think that's... Yeah, too bad, too much. Should not go for such a big sizing.
It's good. And then up here, he is potting river, and against this, I'm just going to call.
Just gonna call. Only queens beat him. But do we have value in raising? From what hands are we trying to get value if we raise? Is 10-5, 10-3 calling ever? 5s? 3s? Yeah. I think calling is probably the right strategy.
Too much of a risk running a queen to raise. And that is what he has.
Queen. Nice, very nicely done by him. Just call.
So actually, checking the flop saved me quite a bit. This table needs to be adjusted a little bit. Not the worst flop, not the...
Yeah, continuation betting. I mean, his opponent should not have anything often either. We often have the best hand, but we need to protect. So yeah, I would bet.
Best flop. But the best flop is up here. This turn, I think he should be leading quite a bit out of the big blind. He did not. I'm going to check.
Should he really check? What got there? 5, 7, ace 5. We don't mind either betting or checking. Let's find out. What GTO strategy is this spot? So deuce, 9-5 deuce, rainbow is flop. This time we are using vision. And fortunately, let's take this one instead. And I think it's rainbow. And the stack sizes need to be adjusted too. But finally we got to where we wanted to be. Let's check to us. We have ace, queen, queen. Then We have a backdoor flush draw. Yes. Oh, solver wants to check 100% on this flop. Sick. So only 2 backdoor flush draws, bet a very tiny percentage of the time. So this is being played passively. Interesting. Yeah, but let's still put it in like it happened. 3 of this, no flush draw. So 3. It's not exactly the board we are looking for, but it's close to. So when we get check 2, we check 100%. Okay, let's now back to here, and if we check and face a 3, what would we do if we get bet into? Probably fold, I assume. Let's see. Yeah, although, yeah, it's a mix. Not folding the majority. And if after checking back, yeah, we obviously have to check again. I mean, yeah, okay. So I think in reality, betting flops like this often makes the hand way easier to play. And yeah, solver lines sometimes are hard to put to work as a human. And it's also hard to remember all these situations. So I think against another human, you're not making not a big mistake if you bet the flop. Yeah, Phil also was betting it, so he had the same intuition, but in solver world, this is not correct.
And up here, I'm definitely going to raise. This is a flop that I do a lot of raising on. So I kind of have the deuce X advantage.
Yeah, makes sense. Like it. And he also has a hand this time.
And we're going to check down queens, probably lose to 2 pair.
Queens to win against jacks.
Jacks. Sort of like 2 pair. So check raise gets called. I'm going to bet, of course. Let's see, what sizing do I want to use?
Yeah, just bet. Yeah, I don't expect him to bet if we check to him. And yeah, he often has like bluff catcher hands with overpairs and stuff. And yeah, we don't want to give him a chance to, yeah, get to the showdown sheep if he wants to see our hand. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have a bluff or a value combo. We want to push a lot of money in and put him to the test. Oh, I was at 50 bigs. Again? No, I was at 100 bigs. Yeah, I mean, at first I was at 50 bigs, but then I corrected it. But yeah, thanks.
Hopefully it just has deuce X and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, can very well be that he has deuce X.
Yeah, just gonna shove. I'm just trying to think of what timing I want to use. But I don't think it matters too much.
Wow. His opponent even puts in his last chips and snap does this. This would be very unfortunate if he shows up with kings, but it's possible.
And he snap shoves. I'm probably beat, actually.
Yeah.
The king.
Again, great read. Kings.
But relatively standard line by both of us, I would say. Well played by him for sure. And I mean, I think I played it well as well. But we are
Not fold.
now in real danger of busting the roll. Meanwhile, okay, this hand can be 3-bet, can be called. Let's, I mean, if we're going to really try to bust the bankroll.
3-bet.
Then let's try. And
let's rewind a bit. Is it? This looks like a quite ambitious 3-bet, but he might be raw, right? Not 100 BB, but close to it. So let's use the 100 BB sim. Not sure if it's actually true that he can or should re-raise this one. But therefore we got the solver, which has the answers to all of our questions. I say it's not a 3-bet. A669. And Phil is right. I mean, I'm right. Phil is wrong. How much worse is it to 3-bet this hand? It seems to be like more than 1 BB mistake. So yeah, not enormous, but they are still. You do it 100 times, you lose 100 full stack.
really try to bust the bankroll. Then let's try. And here I'm going to call and potentially have to go broke on a number of flops. This being one of them, although.
This is painful. Actually not sure if you should go broke here. Is this 3-bet pot? Looks like it is. That's an interesting one too. What do we want to use this time? I mean, it's always. Let's use this one. King 4-5. 3-bet pot. So 50 BB. 3-bet pot. It's heads up. Okay. Was it? Yeah, but almost all board. King 7, Queen, Queen. Oh, interesting. The pre-flop aggressor should check this hand, but what happens if he gets checked to with this one? He should call. Okay, let's see how Phil proceeds with
It's not
this
the most
one.
thrilling one. So here, flop really poorly. I think check fold is probably the play.
Yeah, I think so too.
Although he can stab here relentlessly because I don't think I protect this range very well. Although for full pot, he's not bet folding. And down here, we're going to call.
Yeah, that's in line with Solver's play.
Don't think there's any reason to do anything else.
That's not a good river. Now he has to fold, I think.
And then, yeah, I mean, the ace turn, it's an interesting SPR. I don't think he's going to like have a lot of small bets, and then, but he could try, and I'd be a little bit suspicious of a small bet. Just going to fold. He's going to have the ace too often and has a lot of incentive to protect it, so like he would play it that way.
Great analysis. I really love how he explains things, and I think he's ahead miles against all other coaches who produce videos. So yeah, if you decide to make an account on Run It Once to see his videos, please use my referral link. So some shady luck to get a bit of affiliate money. But yeah, this is actually true. Phil Galfond is like the best coach and does the best commentary by far. Although, not to be honest, not sure how many videos he still produces nowadays. So it might be the case that you only can see old ones of him, and yeah, that would be a shame. And yeah, you probably have to check it out before booking membership at Round Ones.
Okay, please no bust out. I kind of feel like it's happening, but I'll try my best.
This feels more like a 3-bet than the one before.
Gonna
Let's see. Oh, ace queen for 4. Though we have to adjust this to 2 players. Adjust the stack. I think it should be fine. It is.
pot this hand. It's close, I believe. I mean, deeper stack is definitely a 3-bet, but with shallow stacks, it's a little bit tougher. I'm not quite sure.
Not sure about this open. Queen 10. Queen 10 4. I mean, it's heads up. He has to open a lot of hands, but yeah, he's also quite shallow. Oh yeah, only. I think it was this one and 3 diamonds. I think it's a limp, to be honest. Yep. How much worse is raising? Yeah, it's not making a huge difference.
That's a hand we can try to go broke with. I mean, I will continue if we're down to 2 tables, but did he just lose about $6,000 in a few minutes? I'm not sure when it happened, but maybe you guys know. Okay, so I flopped a little bit of everything. Or I mean, a lot of bit of everything.
This is such a strong hand. He could consider checking. I mean, he has everything. Hard for his opponent to continue, but betting small is also fine.
The nice thing, I mean, there are a lot of nice things about flopping the nuts on redraw, but one of the nice things is you don't block them having a pair, so it's very likely you get continued action. Ooh. Unfortunately, when they have a backdoor flush draw as well, sometimes they hit.
Very unlucky.
So we are down to... How do I want to play this? Yeah, we're down to 2 tables. I do not want a quick deposit. It's we're riding this out. So we've got 1,500 on this table, 1,200 on this table, and a combined under 3K combined. So
Phil has not enough money to reload.
There's a reasonable chance it gets in. I'm actually
just joking, by the way.
Well, I shouldn't say I'm glad, but I'm kind of glad I'm running bad on stream, because running bad is something that happens to all of us. And it happens a lot more than you think it should, and a lot more than you think it will. Variance is a beast, and it's not to be underestimated, but it always is underestimated. I remember early in my poker career, a wise man told me, you will once...
I think it's a check back, by the way. But yeah, wise words from him, probably, and probably more to come.
Run worse than you ever thought possible. And that stuck with me, and is definitely true. And it's, I think, true of every longtime poker player that I've spoken with. It's just...
maybe he just does this because he's talking, but yeah, I think the solver will advise us to check this one back. So it's ace, deuce, 8. The flush run, right? Seven 4 if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's betting quite a bit. What about the ones with spades? Does he have diamonds too? Nope. He has like hearts in this. Yo, I was correct. Checking 99%.
It's really difficult to conceptualize how unlucky it's possible to be. This is, of course, I'm down whatever 6 buy-ins or something over the course of 3 hours, and this is like a normal swing in a session. I'm not talking about swings like this, but if you're unable to handle downswings, especially if you're unable to handle small downswings like this, I know like in dollar amounts, it's not a small amount necessarily, but in buy-ins, this is like all in a day's work. You're not going to be cut out to play at either in general, or you're not going to be cut out to play those stakes. And it's a good way to know that you're playing too high. I think a lot of people approach bankroll management and like when they're ready to move up to the next game as, how many buy-ins do I have and do I
Also funny comments from the chat. He can afford it. He's rich.
I think I can beat the next game, and those are important. But also for some people, kind of the psychological impact of playing bigger, even if their bankroll, quote unquote, is big enough, it's too great, and it leads to them playing worse. It leads to them taking a lot of time off.
Yeah, I completely agree. The B skills, like I like to call them, are very, very important in poker. I mean, you could be the best poker player, but if you are tilting too much, you will not succeed. What does it said? Chat said. I think Phil is competing with quite a lot of very good players. He has the Galfond challenge and is playing like 100, 200 and stuff against very tough opponents. And so far, I think he won every one. So he's still very good. And he probably also got into solvers and stuff. But with all those heads up, I think otherwise he's probably not that active other than playing his challenges. Because he has his side to manage and run it once to run. And I think he also has a small little baby, so yeah, he's busy.
Because they're just too unhappy to play, or they don't feel like playing, they're too depressed, or it leads to you. What was the last thing I was going to say? I said playing worse, taking time off.
It happens to everyone. When you run bad, you start to play a lot worse than normal. And it really sucks if also it's in fact if it's spitting over on your real life, and when you are always angry and think about hands, when you are going out and trying to have fun time with friends and you are still tilted, yeah, that's definitely not a good thing. But it happens to all professional poker players at some point, I think.
I don't know. Something else. Something really wise is what I was going to say next. On the other table, I have a tough spot. At 100 big blinds, this is just a call. At 60 big blinds or whatever I have, it's awkward.
I think it's still a call.
Because, very often I'm going to flop.
But it's definitely awkward. 6 max, 50 BB. Raise, fold, and it's up to him. Ace, 10, 10. Let's see if I'm correct. Yep. Calling is to play
an overpair that is, well, in an awkward spot. I haven't been paying enough attention to this player. I'm going to go ahead and peel. And
Phil gets lucky.
It's no longer awkward. But I do think that
it might be hard to get value. Although pot to stack ratio is quite low. He might just go with aces and something. Ace, king, ace, ace, king, ace, ace, queen, gut shot 2. So yeah, he might assume that he has the best hand and wants to protect or something like that.
Flop spot's very close. I'm going to start with a call.
Yeah, seems like a wise decision.
I mean, I don't think that he's likely to fold many hands if I were to raise here. But, well, I shouldn't say that. Like, I think something that, I think he's, you know, a strong pre-flop range has connected with this board basically always. Like, the worst case, it's going to be, I don't know, 9, 8, 7, 6. So, like, he has something always.
Yeah, Phil played it well. I think you call it also played it well. Yeah, just a standard cooler, and yeah, he wasn't able to do anything about it. Yeah, and Phil also played it great, like he most of the time there does.
But raising this flop is pretty scary, so I do think potentially he can make some folds. The nice thing,
yeah, I mean, with his stack size, it's definitely the play to just call. I mean, he has 2 more streets to get the money in, and it's very easy to get it in still. And yeah, definitely just calling is the play. I think so too.
The thing about when they're drawing dead is that they can't hit on the river. So we did survive that one. Phil, does this bring you back to the days when you played Phil Ivey with a 1 buy-in bankroll? I didn't play him with a 1 buy-in bankroll. I played him, I sat 300, 600 heads up against Phil Ivey. And I probably had a bankroll of, I don't know, 300K or something, maybe a little bit less. And on the second hand, this is no limit hold'em. On the second hand, I flop middle set, flop bottom set, and
story time with Phil Galfond.
Check raised. It was like I think a 10-7-3 flush draw board, and I had 3s in the big blind. Call, check raise flop. He 3 bets. I shove. He calls. He had 10s for top set. I think it was 9-6-3. He had 9s, and my second hand of 300, 600, I get stacked, and I go back to my lowly 100, 200 games, still underrolled, but it was man,
he just called
a lot of bad decisions back.
Yeah, they are also deep, definitely standard. Oh, that's a good turn, but hard to get more money. But let's see what happens.
Back then, but it all worked out in the end. I always took shots at higher stakes, and I don't think it was necessarily a bad idea because there were games that were good, and I felt that I was a strong enough player to compete in them.
Yeah, I like a bet. Yeah, a small bet also is fine. I mean, he often would do this with some sort of draw in order to chase out better hands and stuff. So yeah, good sizing, good game plan here.
And what's most importantly though is that I could step back down when I lost. And so a lot of people, if they take a shot at a much higher stake and then they end up losing, they chase their losses. They can't go back down because it's too hard.
Yeah, back in the day also, I think the crazy games building around, what was his name again? This 100, 200 and 200, 400 no limit hold'em fish, Steve Harris on Poker Stars. I also took shots with like 1 stack or 2 stacks on stars, and it was like 1 stack was like, I don't know, 20% of my bankroll, and yeah, it always went horrible, but yeah, it didn't matter. I mean, I lost 2 or 3 stacks in these games, but I always rebuilt it in like 1 month just grinding 510 and 1020 instead of 100 200 or 200 400.
Which is kind of what I'm talking about now. I don't want to go back to 3-6 or 1-2 or whatever I was playing before. Gonna pot and probably pot fold. There is a risk that he has king king again, or maybe I just have PTSD from the previous king king hand.
Yeah, you could also have king queen.
And meanwhile, I've 3-bet aces, and I'm just gonna go with it on this board with an SPR of just over 2. There's nothing really else to do, I think. I don't think I want a smaller sizing on this board.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, once you bet that big, you can't get away anymore. And yeah, this is also good for aces normally.
So it's just pot and go with it. Fortunate.
Oh, this is like the best hand his opponent can hold ever.
To be up against kings. Less fortunate.
But he still gets stacked.
Less fortunate when the river's a 7. But it's hard to get it in that good in PLO. So, but his play is very standard. He gives me.
Tell us some stories about your high stakes shots back in the day, Robbie.
Whatever this face is, just find a face that's appropriate. Maybe that one. Gonna open this in the cutoff. Slightly loose.
Yeah, this seems loose, but I'm too lazy to look it up. But yeah, could be a fold. I think it probably is a fold.
But especially at shorter stack sizes, the ace and the king, like blockers, become more powerful. An interesting flop.
Definitely checking back against 2 guys.
SPR under 5. I don't want to bet fold or bet call this, so I'm just going to check. Seven's obviously not a great card. And I do think that this is a spot where the big blind's going to stab pretty light. However...
not sure if it's stabbing that light against 2 opponents. Although the small blind almost never has it here. Also unlikely that the cutoff has it. So yeah, he might actually be correct. He could try to do some moves. I mean, he now has a pair and still an open-ender. He has a potential future blocker. Let's see. Very interesting what he does.
Man.
Yeah, on the downside, there's also one more guy behind who might, re-raise, and then he's screwed.
Does not strike quite strong enough. No, actually, with the ace of hearts, I'm going to call and I'm going to bluff hearts, as well as just take my equity to improve. I think he's betting with every 2 pair. I think he's betting, well, not every, but most 2 pair. A lot of bluffs, a lot of 1 pair bluffs that I'm actually beating. So this ace out might be good as well, a reasonable amount of the time. And then also I have the double gut shot, the hearts that I can bluff. So I do feel good about that. Meanwhile, I'm gonna 3-bet aces up here. And down here, we'll see if we face this river bet, which we do.
Ooh. I think I would be a pussy and fold. I mean, he's showing strength twice and is betting a pot again. Let's see what Phil decides to do.
I block a 6, which is, kind of a key card. Is he going to bet a set? So 8, 6, 6, 4.
Yeah, what he is hoping for is that his opponent has like 8, 10, jack, or 8s or 6s, some of these blocker type hands.
Tough spot.
I don't necessarily think that he's betting a set again and for this big of a sizing.
I'm gonna call and explain it later. I don't want to actually don't want to encourage this guy to make a move. Yeah. So
yeah, he had exactly the hand I was talking about. So like an open ender and a flush draw. So yeah, a good play by Dingeldang, and yeah, very tough call he made. Yeah, well done, Phil. But I think it's definitely close. probably don't lose that much in EV, no matter what you do. And yeah, additional reads about the opponent would be very helpful to make this decision.
Also, meanwhile, up here, 9-9x is not great for me, but I'm going to go ahead and then c-bet small. I might want to do that with my full range. He says money back on this table. That's funny.
Like the small c-bet size. Checking back is also an option with the aces.
I'll talk about that call in a moment. Here we'll play this aces hand.
This is a tough spot. What does he do if he's betting like 180 and gets raised? Yeah, interesting. Let's see. But on the other hand, he also needs to protect a bit. Now, there are a lot of doors out there, and he is not blocking any clubs at all.
I'm gonna bet call it off. I'm not happy about it, but I just think SPR1 protection.
I'm not sure about bet calling. Against some opponents, you could probably still fold.
Is an issue. I have all the like ace-ace combos pre, so I want to apply a lot of pressure to his range with a lot of my potential bluffs.
Yeah, he's drawing very thin.
Unfortunately, he has a full house, so I was in very bad shape.
Yeah, but a 9 and an ace, so.
But I think I just kind of have to get.
He also, I didn't saw that he has a gut shot too, but yeah, with the gut shot, he probably cannot fold anymore. Yeah, without the gut shot, I think it might be a bad fold for this sizing.
Stack there. I do think I have an option to check back the flop. I have an option to check back the turn. I think those spots are both somewhat close. But it's a really hard spot for him to defend across two streets. So I think a couple of small bets with a lot of my range works well. The reason that I called with this hand, other than blocking the 6 and have a pretty good hand, the reality is neither of us have a straight, like almost ever, based on pre-flop range, and the fact that neither of us raised, especially that he didn't raise after I went bet call. And like I said, I do think this player was betting a lot on the turn, like a lot of one-pair hands, which is exactly what he had. He had a...
Oh, okay, so he had additional reads. Yeah, he's explaining it now. Yeah, well done. Let's listen to the rest of his reasoning.
Combo draw as well, with the 8 and the 4 blocker. So I think his hand choice is definitely fine across all streets. I don't think he made a mistake. But I just think it's a spot where he can find a ton of bluffs, just thinking that I almost always have a draw of some kind, like with 10-8 or, Jack 10-9 with hearts or something. And that this player almost always has a draw as well. So I think he has a lot of fold equity there. And so I think I need to defend a hand like this. That is just, a very strong hand. Here we'll open up. Wow. Very beautiful hand. When in 99, I used to fall asleep to the voice of old Phil Galfond training videos on YouTube. Watch my new training videos on runonce.com. The ones on YouTube are like...
Oh, talking about new videos on Round One, so he probably still makes videos. Although, I think this content is quite old, like 2 or 3 years old, so not sure if there are still ones coming out. If there are ones, then Round Ones definitely is one of the better choices if you want to learn Pot Limit Omaha.
Well, they're stolen from a site I used to work with, and they're like 8 years old, 9 years old, I don't know. Good question. Brandlore, hey Phil, what are some of the improvements you're looking forward to adding to Rio Poker? So in the nearer term, there are a lot of options, customization options, and kind of...
Yeah, he has a lot of options, and yeah, I think a lot of things he could do here, and basically everything is fine.
General...
Other than open fold.
UI improvements. or I should say UX, like just more responsive buttons, more consistent, like more noticeable time bank and more consistent experiences. But the first like big thing that I'm hoping that we're going to be adding is sit and goes, and I'm certainly excited about that. Obviously, quite a bit down the pipeline. I think the one I'm most excited about is our high stakes offering, but it's going to be it's going to take longer. Sit and goes are going to be first. This hand's probably an open from the cutoff, but not the hijack. Hey, hun.
I'm not sure if it's an open from the cutoff, but from the hijack, it's definitely not.
Hi.
So we have an appearance from. So you can see here. That's
what we see.
That's what they can see.
Yeah, that's the child I was talking about, and that's probably his wife.
Hi, everybody.
This is Farah and Spencer Galfond.
Are you winning?
No.
Oh, no.
So I.
You have nuts.
Yeah. My bankroll is on the table.
The whole roll?
Everything that we have is on the table.
Oh my god.
So we'll see. It's I think it's more compelling viewing that there's like, because the thing about
So much risk.
the thing about cash games, like a lot of people stream tournaments and there's like a clear beginning, middle, end. And in cash games, there's not. You just play and you play. But here now there's like a.
You have like a special stream voice, babe.
Is this different than when I
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's because I've been talking for a while and it gets a little tired, I guess.
Spencer, what do you think about all these screens? You're not really allowed to.
I heard some good things about it, actually. I think they have like, I mean, I'm responding to chat now. And yeah, at least I heard from a player's perspective that Run It Once poker isn't bad, and that they often have like these races that are quite easy to win, and this is like an extra $1,000 or something for grinding the weekends and stuff. So, but I'm not sure. I've never played there, so can't really comment on that.
Look at screens.
Yeah, we have way too many in here for you, Spence.
So how much are you stuck?
Hey, bud.
Okay, they have low deposit limits. So I mean, I think Galfond is probably a guy who does everything by the book, and so he has to have low deposit limits in order to be fine with all regulations and stuff.
I think 11K.
Oh my god, Phil.
This.
God.
I have lost more than 11K. Oh, you probably also will not be very audible unless you speak loudly, because, you know, this is, I mean, they can definitely hear you. Defend the big blind here. Could bet.
By the way, also got a special guest.
There's just a lot of, like, one pair plus draw hands that can call me that I'm doing really well against. I don't think I get raised that often. What do you think, bud?
He thinks mommy's gonna have to go play tonight to get us out of this hole.
Yeah. All right, so we do get raised.
Stuff it.
No.
Really? They're in Curacao? I thought they were in Malta. I think the operations run from Malta. I think he said something like that in an interview.
This is a call. It's probably king, which would make it not a great call, but I think he can also have. I mean, it's probably king, but he can.
Spade.
He can
Spade.
potentially have some.
We brought the luck.
You did. He could potentially have like a combo draw that has now missed, but I think king's the most likely hand, so I think I have to shove. Good job, Spencer.
All right, Spence.
Good boy. Oh, I'm not even showing the right table.
Oh my god, Phil.
Well, you were distracting me. So,
Do they see it now?
they see it now, yeah. So this was, I block bet turn and then called her pot size raise or so.
It's hot as hell in here.
So do we have a license in Curacao or in Malta?
And then, I know it gets warm with the lights and the computers and everything. Also, you're holding the little man.
Yeah, he gets no value. Is not flush.
He folded.
He folded, unfortunately.
Wow. That's an open on the button, right? This hand?
Yes. But they might have a 1 player to a hand rule, so you can't give me advice.
I'm not giving you advice. I just asked a question.
I'm kidding.
Right, guys?
And here we get 3-bet again.
Yeah, we are teaming up, right? Lol.
It's another pretty ugly spot, but I think we can call with this one. And hope for the best. And this is going to be dicey. This is very dicey. So we need about 38% equity to get it in here. And
Oh, that's a sick spot. Yeah, and a gut shot is often good enough. Although, yeah, double the pot size. I think he probably could still get away.
against like King, King, Jack, we probably don't have it. Against King, King, low, we probably do. Against Ace, Queen, Jack, Ace, Queen, 10, we probably don't. But I feel like, yeah, it's close enough, and we need to gamble because we need a conclusion to this stream.
Want to gamble.
One way or the other. Not the best hand to see. We did.
I think against this hand it's correct to gamble.
Not get there, Spencer. And so we're down to one table.
No food for Spencer today.
The problem is one table's kind of boring. So guys, we are running out of time for me to go busto. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up at the next big blind.
It would be so much fun if you just letters it in every hand and try spewing. I mean, he's rich enough. He could do this.
As I have a baby to take care of. And wife to explain myself to.
Funny.
I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. I've enjoyed streaming again. This time a little bit less. Oh, well, actually, it was stressful for a while there when I was having some drop frame issues, or a lot of them at one point. Gonna fold here. But it's getting easier. Obviously, it would be fun to show you guys a nice winning session. Basically the opposite of this one. But that'll happen. Or it won't. You never know with variance.
Probably a check back again.
This is a flop I could see bet a lot against the big blind, but against the small blind, he's going to hit this board reasonably hard.
Ooh. Checking back again.
So you got to be careful, see betting too much. As I mentioned a number of times, you know, I'm here to stream because I really trying to help grow Run It Once Poker, which is my other baby.
Why the fuck is he not playing on Run It Once Poker when he wants to grow it? But yeah, I think the last video was on Run It Once Poker, but in my eyes, it's a bit shady when the owners of the site play where themselves. I mean, this is always suspicious, so I think employees and owner of the site should not be allowed to play there, because there's so many things that could be going on in the background. I mean, I'm not suspecting Galfond to do any of this, but yeah, still, you should just not do it in order to, yeah, don't even get rumors coming up about it. I mean, if he runs like a god, then people might expect something like that. So just simply don't do it.
And something I know a lot of you guys are passionate about as well. And you know, I think we're building something really cool, and I think with your help, we will build something really cool. So I appreciate, you know, all your support, playing on the site, talking about the site, telling your friends about the site, and asking questions while I'm playing about the site.
It was tough after the action went like check. He's a pure bluff catcher, and he's getting decent price. Needs to be good about, what is it, 25%? Yeah, but he's again beating nothing, not blocking a spade, so Yeah, folding it might be, but he is a bit more cally, and so far the session he proved to be on the right side more often than my suggestion was. So let's see what he does.
So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm gonna fold this hand. I think he doesn't have like quite enough bluffs when he cold calls the small blind. So I'm just gonna lay that down. But yeah, I think that's a full outro, right? Again, I don't know when I'll stream next, but and I probably won't announce it far in advance, so definitely.
Okay, we don't need to hear his outro. I do mine now. Yeah, thanks for watching. It was a pleasure. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. If you didn't follow yet, please do so. And if you watch this later on YouTube, please give me a like, subscribe, bell notification, all this good stuff. And yeah, wish you good luck at the tables. Bye bye, until next time.